Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard. My name is New Haven Rail Guy, and this is Train Simulator 2019. Today we are going to be doing an excursion with the Big Boy locomotive. This is the largest steam locomotive ever built by Union Pacific, or rather for Union Pacific by ALCO, the American Locomotive Company. Between 1941 and 1944, there were 25 built. And as of this year, the recording of this video in 2019, number 4014, one of the 8 survivors, has just recently been restored to running condition. The first time a Big Boy has run since, sometime in the 60s. It's unreal. The largest steam locomotive in the world lives again. So what I'm seeing here is its final run was in 1959, on July 21st. So it's been since 1959 that this beast of the rails has rode the rails. So, without further me blabbing, we're going to get out onto the main line, because I know that there is a freight coming. So, alright. So what I'm going to do is put the reverser forward, release the brake, sound the whistle, put on the bell, and away we will go. Slowly pulling away from the depot. Now I do apologize for the light on the tender. That's supposed to be mimicking the water tenders that UP uses on their excursions. But unfortunately, it's basically just the tender for the turbine. It's the oil tender. UP converted them to water for their steam excursions. And for some reason, I can't figure out how to turn it off. So it's kind of stuck there the way that it is. Turn the bell off there. You'll see, she picks up speed real fast. Speaking of the turbine, there's one right there. Hauling a tank train. It's surprisingly quiet. The real turbines were loud. Those things were powerful. They essentially were the Big Boy's first replacements. I'll have to do a separate video on them. They were big, they were loud, and they were awesome. But were also very costly to operate and maintain, so they didn't last very long. But they were a spectacle in their own right, just like the Big Boy was. Union Pacific was serious about getting freight over Sherman Hill, which is the route we're on today. We're going to be going for Beaufort Center, West Siding. Big Boy is a 4884 class locomotive, which means in the front you have, 4 pilot wheels, and then behind that you have 8 drivers, and then another set of 8 drivers behind that, and then finally 4 trailing wheels, 4884. The tender wheels don't count for classification. It is the largest steam locomotive ever built. And they were numbered. I'm trying to find the numbers here. I don't know them off the top of my head. But they were numbered. I think there were 25 of them, so they were probably 4,000 to 4,025. So this is the second to last one built. Number 4024. Which I think is neat. look like a big slow brute, but it can haul a coal train pretty fast. Could hold about almost 25,000 gallons of water. Top speed of 80 miles an hour. And a power output of 6,290 horsepower. Produced 135,375 pounds of tractive effort. That is a lot. In 1941, these cost $265,000 to build, equivalent to $4,513,993 as of 2018. These were not cheap. In their own time, they were expensive, and they're expensive now. I can't imagine how much restoring 4014 cost the Union Pacific, but it was worth every penny. These are magnificent pieces of engineering. They need to be preserved, they need to be saved, and if you find that there is an excursion coming for your area, make sure to go and get pictures, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see one of these in action. It is fantastic. Give it a little bit more power here. And of course I got some diesel help too, which is probably why I can get up to speed a little quicker. I'll go ahead and show you guys some of the passenger coaches. So we got our regular tender, which is filled with coal. 4014 was one of the big boys that they converted to burn oil, so unfortunately she's not coal-fired, she's oil-fired. That's okay, because that was something that Union Pacific did themselves in the later years of big boy service, but they were big tenders. They had to be. And here we've got the auxiliary water tender, which, as I explained before, came from the turbines, which use these tenders as auxiliary oil tenders, and they would burn through oil, let me tell you. But the UP converted them to water for steam excursions with the Challenger locomotive class, which is the big boy's little cousin, and the FEF-8, number 844. And here we got a Chivo. Now, primarily the reason for having a diesel locomotive on an excursion, some people will tell you that it's to power the cars. I'm not privy as to whether or not Union Pacific's passenger cars for their excursions have steam generators or not. They may. But I think there is some regulation that states that in certain circumstances you have to have a diesel on board in case anything goes wrong. So, she's there, number 7499. You got a baggage coach, first class, dome, and on the very end down here we have an observation car with a nice red light. No drumhead, unfortunately. For those who are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, a drumhead is something that streamliners had to identify the train, usually a logo that they plastered on the back, and it was lit up on the observation car. Santa Fe had the Chief and the Super Chief. Union Pacific had the City of Los Angeles, and I'm not familiar with the names of all of UP's train. I think the City of Chicago was another one. I'm more familiar with the Santa Fe streamliners. But yeah, they had drum heads, and they were basically lights or signs, and they were called that because they were usually round with the logo. If you look up, say, Santa Fe Super Chief drumhead, you'll see what I mean. Or Streamliner drumheads, and you can find different examples online. So that's pretty cool. Here comes another passing freight. As we get up to speed here, and as some of the popping causes the game to stutter. Again, I have to apologize for that. That's the game, that's not me. This is an empty coal train. I actually attempted to record this beforehand, and the exact same AI trains passed, so just a neat tidbit for you. Wow. He is moving. Well, we're also moving too, so that's why he probably looks fast. I wasn't happy with the first take of this. Usually I'm a one-take wonder, but I felt like I was tripping over the commentary, and even if you guys, the audience, don't mind that, I look at that and I just cringe every time because I feel like I could easily do better, and I want to bring you guys the best that I can within my own abilities. So that light is going to drive me crazy on the water tender. You can't see I'm doing the air quotes. But I have to deal with it. I don't know how to turn it off. I haven't gotten any answers from anybody. It's very unusual. It seems to only happen if it's not coupled up to a super turbine. Alright, she is picking up speed. And that's okay, because I think by the time we reach the 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, we shouldn't be over it. But my goodness, she is charging up this 1% grade. And I know I'm not whistling through all the crossings. Usually I think that's a violation of some sort. I get it. But because this horn is on this whistle is on a ridiculous loop, I try not to use it as much. It does sound cool, that deep chime. That lets you know a big locomotive was coming. Actually, no, let's do a flyby cam real quick here. See those pistons hard at work. You'll notice the steam has a draw distance. Once we get a certain length down the train, you won't see the steam anymore. Not very realistic, but hey, games have limitations. See? It's gone. It's not really gone, but, you know. There she goes. And then, of course, the game freaks out when I change camera views. It has to render everything quickly again. Train Sim 2019 definitely has some performance issues, but it's nowhere near the performance issues that I've had with Trains in New Era. Don't get me wrong, Trains in New Era works and it's great fun. There's lots of free content, but my goodness, does it ever have issues? One of them being that a majority of the routes that you find don't even have complete assets available. So a lot of your routes will have insufficient ground cover. There will be patches where you can see some of the wireframe work for modeling. It's just annoying. And unfortunately, I can't get it to work for recording because it is more resource intensive than this game. Every time I've tried to record it, even at the lowest possible settings, there's no way to even do 720p 30. It stutters along. I had the same problem with Overwatch. My setup is just not good for some of the more resource-intensive games, or the way that they're coded to handle the resources. So I apologize to anybody who's looking forward to that. If you follow the Facebook page or the Instagram feed and you saw some of my screenshots, that's the best I can do with that game, with Trains a New Era, is give you guys some screenshots. It's just not going to do video. I wanted to get some video clips too, because there is a lot of great user-generated content for free for that game. And I wanted to get some video clips of some of the sounds that they gave. Like, they have some sounds for the ST-78s that are just phenomenal. But unfortunately, I won't be able to bring it to you guys because, again, PC can't handle it. So maybe one day. By that time, Trains 2025 might be out. Who knows? But it is a decent simulator, and I do like it for the fact that it has a lot of free content, so you can sort of experiment with more. And it has a quick drive mode with an editor, so you can assemble assists within the game and just go. That's something that this game doesn't have. And it's not a necessity by any means, but I do like the fact that you can do it. Boy, a lot of freight traffic today. Looks like you're regular mixed. A lot of reefer on this one. Some coal cars, some tankers. Looks like some 40-footers here on the end. They could be 50. Yeah, they're just 40-footers by the looks of it. I could be wrong. It's hard to tell at that speed. Either way, they're box cars. Doesn't really matter if they're 40-foot or 50-foot. But that's just the Railfan in me trying to figure everything out. Alright, folks, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut till we are closer to our destination, because I don't want this video to go over 30 minutes. So, just to make things quicker on you guys and so you weren't bored, I will see you then. Well, folks, I pushed her too hard. Turns out I ran out of water. So, let this be a lesson to you all. Don't do that. But in all honesty, I didn't intend to do that. So, sorry the excursion was cut short. I don't know what happened, but she ran out of water. I should have taken it a little bit easier, but it happens. It happens. But I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip, and I will see you guys in the next video. This has been New Haven Rail Guy, and I will see you guys at the next station stop. God bless. Have a good one. Peace.